Hello, receiving students and Sevenis.
Hello, Miss Anna Marie.
Thank you. Take your seat. Let's revise what we have learned in our previous lesson. On the screen, we will recap some of the points that we have covered in our previous lesson, like coordinates, axes, points. Now, students, I'd like us to look at the whiteboard here. In our previous lesson, we looked at this number plane to find the coordinates. Now, as a recapping lesson, students, I'd like you to tell me which of the line is a y-axis and which line is the x-axis. Okay, shouldn't take you that long. Okay, Alan? Alan, can you come in? Show us the y-axis line on this chart here. Okay. Receiving students and Sevenis, the y-axis is this line here. This is the y-axis line. And y-axis is always what? Always vertical, okay? Always vertical. And our x-axis is always horizontal, which is going across. The coordinates. Class, what do we know about coordinates? In our previous lesson, we were using the word coordinates. Can someone tell me what is coordinates? Or what are coordinates? Yes, Clement?
Arrange.
Arrange, okay. Clement thinks arrange. Any other answers? Receiving students, I hope you explain, you give your meaning or understanding on what coordinate is. Okay, let's have our friend there.
Ordered pair.
Okay, ordered pair. Okay, our friend uses ordered pair. Now, receiving students and 7 is ordered pair and coordinates are not two different things. They have the same meaning. Coordinates and ordered pair, which we will use, it's a new word that we will use in our lesson for today. Coordinates and ordered pairs are pair of numbers which normally shows the location of a point on a number line. Now, for example, this magnet indicates a point. Okay? So, what are the two coordinates of this point? What are the two coordinates? Remember, coordinates are two pair of numbers which shows a point of a location. Okay, let's have Glenda.
1,5.
1,5. Is she correct? Yes, our friend says 1,5, okay? 1,5. Or, don't forget brackets, huh? When we want to say, spell, or read the coordinates, we read it as how we write it, okay? The way we write it, we read it the same way. So, the coordinates for this point here is bracket 1,5 bracket. These are the two coordinates. So remember, if you reflect back to the meaning of coordinates, coordinate simply means two pair of numbers which shows the location of a point. So don't forget, coordinates and ordered pair means the same meaning, or they have the same meaning. Two different words with the same meaning. Now, receiving students and 7 is, we will go into our today's lesson. Our today's lesson topic is integers on the number plane. Now, once again, receiving students, I'd like to have your attention on the whiteboard. On the whiteboard, we have two different number planes, okay? The one on your left is the one that we used in our previous lesson. And the one on your right will be the one we will use in our today's lesson. So you can see, the one on your right is called quadrant number plane. So we will be using quadrant number plane for our lesson today, or in today's lesson. Now, as you can see, quadrant number plane it has some similar features, or features which you found in our number plane in your previous lesson. Now, in our introduction or recapping, we talked about words like coordinates, axes, and points. Now, in this quadrant number plane, we have also the coordinates, the axes, and the axes which are y-axis and x-axis. Now, on this quadrant number plane, I'd like someone to come up to the board and show me where y-axis is. Class, in this number plane, we said that this is x-axis and this is the y-axis. Now, which of these lines shows the y-axis and the x-axis on this quadrant number plane? We will have a boy and a girl to show one of those two. Okay, let's say Win. Win, can you come and show us where the y-axis is on this quadrant number plane? Y-axis? Okay. What do you others think? Is it correct? Yes. Okay, y-axis. Starting from here all the way down. Okay, this is y-axis. And which one is x-axis? Let's have a girl. Okay, our friend here, Madeline. Madeline? X-axis? This one? Okay. Our friend Madeline says that this is the y-axis, x-axis here. We are talking about, you need to show y-axis, x-axis is a line. Okay? Okay, Agnes. Okay. 7 is and receiving students. The x-axis is this line here. Okay. Not here. It's not. This is not the y-axis. X-axis refers to the line. So, starting from here all the way up here, this line here, horizontal line is the it's the x-axis. Horizontal line is the x-axis. And the vertical line, which is starting from here down all the way down to here, is the y-axis. So, x-axis is not this. It is the line. Receiving students and 7 is, please make note of that. Likewise, y. Y-axis refers to the line here. This vertical line is the y-axis. Now, where is the origin? Can somebody come and indicate? In this number plane, this is the starting point. This is where 0 is. Now, in the quadrant, we have the origin. Can someone come and identify where the origin is? I have the word origin here. I want somebody to come and point where the origin is. Okay, Sconti. Let's have a girl to get ready to give the next answer if Sconti doesn't give the correct answer. Sconti, where's the origin? Where's the origin, Sconti? Okay. Sconti thinks that this is the origin of the number plane, quadrant number plane. What do you others think? Yes, receiving students and 7 is, this is the origin. The origin is where the y-axis and the x-axis intersect. Okay? Where the y-axis and the x-axis intersects is the origin. And the coordinates for origin is always what? What is the coordinate? What is the coordinates for origin? 0? You sure 0? I don't think so. Receiving students, what is the coordinates for origin? Let's have Emmanuel. Let's hear from Emmanuel. Class?
Bracket 0, 0 bracket.
Very good. That is the coordinate for origin. The origin will have these coordinates. Bracket 0, 0 bracket. Receiving students and 7 is. Now, in a quadrant, we have the points as well. And each point is being located by what? Each point is being located by what? Each point is shown by what? Starting with letter C. Coordinates. Each point is being shown by coordinates. So, what is the coordinate of this point? Class, it's already on the board. What is the coordinate for this point? Okay, let's have Agnes, Glenda. Glenda, can you read the coordinates?
Bracket -3, 2 bracket.
Very good. Now, the coordinate for this point here is bracket -3, 2 bracket. Now, if you look at this point is given a title or the name. What is the name of that point? Walter?
Indicator.
Indicator. Indicator? Okay, class. What is being pasted beside this point here? B. B. So, the name of this point is point B. Any point that is placed on the number line has a name given. So, in this example here, what I'm trying to explain here is the name of this point is point B. This point B has the coordinates which are bracket -3, 2 bracket. Okay? Now, if you look at this number plane, it is being divided into how many quarters? 4 quarters, yes. Now we come back to what our friend Ruthie has said. The quadrant starts from the right hand top corner. So this quarter here becomes the first quadrant. And this quarter becomes the what? Second quadrant. And this quarter becomes the third quadrant. And the last one becomes the fourth quadrant. Now, the quadrants, are they from left to right or right to left? It is anti-clockwise. It is coming this way around. Okay? So, anti-clockwise direction and not clockwise direction. Okay? Receiving students and 70s. Now, let us go back to our point B here. Point B. What quadrant is point B in? What quadrant? First, second, third? Okay, you can see that the location of point B is in second quadrant. What is the location of point D? Fourth quadrant. As you can see from this quadrant plane here, number plane here, it is located in this fourth quadrant area. Now, receiving students and 8 is, before we go into our lesson for today, our main learning activity, I'd like to emphasize main things here. The origin is always where the two axes intersect, and it is always here. The coordinates of origin is bracket 0, comma 0, bracket. Okay? All quadrants have 4 quarters. Okay, first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, and fourth quadrant. X-axis is always horizontal and Y-axis is always vertical. Now we will go into our learning activity. Our activity for this lesson is plotting integers on number plane. Now let us look at our learning activity. Students, can you read the question, please? So that is our activity. We will write the coordinates and state the quadrant or axis of each point on the number plane. We'll be using the quadrant number plane which is on the whiteboard. Now, as our learning activity, I'd like you to answer that first question. What are the coordinates of points Z and M? Okay, I'll give you some time to copy down that question. Receiving students, you can copy down that question. The second question is what quadrant is point Z in, and the third question is what axis is point M on. Okay, students, we have the points M and Z given there. Okay? Point M and point Z here. Now you have to write what are the coordinates of points Z and M on the number plate. Okay? And what quadrant is point Z in? That is the second question. And the third question, what axis is point M on? Okay, let's have some answers. Let's have some answers. Receiving students, you give your answer to your teacher. This is point M and this is point Z. Okay, let's have some answers. Donna? Donna, come and write a coordinate for M. Coordinates for M. Donna? And Ruthie for Z. Ruthie? Okay, let's have Joshua. That's it. Okay. Z. Bracket. Don't forget the bracket. You must write it properly. Hey, what's this? What's this? Write the comma properly. Correctly write the comma. Okay. Let us look at the first question first. Okay. M. Coordinates. How many distance to the left? How many? 4. 4 distance to the left. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So what will be the x-axis? -4. Remember, we always read x-axis first and then y-axis. So it is -4, comma, what will be our y-axis? Our y-axis will be 0. Is our friend correct? Yes. Bracket -4, comma, 0 bracket. Okay. Z. This is point Z. What is the x-axis? It is -3. You can see 3 distance to the left. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So -3. What is our y-axis? -2. 2 distance down. 1, 2. So our coordinates for Z is bracket -3, comma, and -2 bracket. So our friend is correct. Z, the coordinates are -3, comma, -2. Now, our next two questions. What quadrant is point Z in? John?
Third quadrant.
Okay. Our friend says that third quadrant. Is it correct, class? Yes, it is in third quadrant. Okay, this is third quadrant. Very good. We go to our last question. What axis is point M on? What axis? Michaelin.
X-axis.
Very good. Point M is on x-axis, as you can see from this number plane here, quadrant number plane. It is right on the x-axis. This line here, the line is x-axis. If it is on this line, what would we say? Y-axis. Okay? Good. Now, class, we have few minutes to do our exercise. What we have done in our learning activity, practical learning activity, we will try to apply those same ideas in this exercise. Now, our exercise, there are 5 exercises there, but I will let you to do only two, which is A and B. A and B. Now, students, your exercise is use the quadrant number plane from the chart to complete the exercise. So, you're going to use this quadrant number plane chart here to complete those exercises. Write the coordinates and state the quadrant or axis of each point. The activity is just similar to what we did in our learning activity. So, it's just that I have twisted the question or the statement around. A is, what is the coordinate? You write the coordinate and then you state the quadrants of point A. If it is on one of those 2 axes, you write the axis. You don't have to write the quadrant. And B, what is the coordinate? You write the coordinates for G and then state the quadrant or the axis of each point. So, in this chart, this is point A here. Point A is being indicated by blue magnet, and point G is being indicated by red magnet. So that is point G and this is point A. You are doing A and B only. Okay, we have some students who have completed the exercise. When you are trying to write the coordinates, you try to find the quadrants and the axes. Okay? If you think that the point is on the axis, you will not indicate the quadrant. Finish. Okay, let's have Jubilee. Jubilee has completed A. Okay, Jubilee. Our next person there, not Evelyn, but the other friend here. Julie. Q, 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 Q. Put that, write that A properly, A properly. No continue now, right? Relax now, right? Julie? Please compare your answers with the two others, receiving students and 7s. Okay, Walter, complete our friend Julie's answer there. Okay, what axis is it on? No, one X, one I. Thank you. Okay, let's look at the two answers here. Coordinate, exercise A, are the coordinates correct? Let us look at the coordinates here. What is the x-axis? The x-axis is 3, so which is positive 3. Positive 3 is still correct, okay? You either have this plus sign or having it this way, and this way is still the same. Huh? They're still same. You can either have it this way or this way. So this answer is correct. Positive 3, comma, and what is the x, y-axis? Positive 1 or 1. So this plus sign is too big. More better have it as small as this. So our coordinates are positive 3, comma, plus or positive 1 bracket. Now, which quadrant is it in? First quadrant. You can see point A is in first quadrant, this corner here, or this area of quadrant. Let's look at exercise B, receiving students, and we have two answers. Which of these answer is the correct one? First or the second? Second. Okay, this answer is the correct answer. Okay, and not this. Okay. The x-axis is 3 or positive 3, comma, and the y-axis is 0. What axis is it on? It is on x-axis, okay? So point G is on x-axis, and the coordinates of point G is plus 3, comma, 0. Now, receiving students and teachers, please complete the other two exercises, which is C up to E. Now, students, let us look at our summary for this lesson. Students, can you read the summary? Point number 1. Read after 2. The next point, okay, the origin point is where the axis intersect, where the y-axis and the x-axis intersects. Points are represented by coordinates or ordered pairs. Remember this word, two words, coordinates and ordered pair. Okay? In our next lesson, we will be covering these two words, okay? Or using the two words here. And remember, don't forget coordinates and ordered pair or ordered pairs are pair of numbers used to show location or on the number line. Now class, what is our key phrase? Quadrant, number plane. Our next lesson topic is on directed numbers on the number plane. And the materials for the next lesson are ruler, pencil, grid paper, graph paper, receiving teacher, sorry. When I talk about graph paper, I mean something like this. So you can improvise. If you don't have this graph paper, you can improvise. Use an A4 paper to prepare something like this for your class to be used in the next lesson. And then the other material that you should prepare is quadrant grid. Okay? So receiving teacher, you should get these materials prepared for your next lesson. With that, class, thank you for your participation.